Oh, welcome to two. I'm just kidding. Hi, and welcome to Two Ordinary Nerds, a podcast where two ordinary nerds talk about ordinary things. Or recaps, if you will, like this episode. Hey, Daniel, how you doing today? I'm Lewis Booth, by the way.
I'm doing good. So, what are we going to talk about this episode?
What are you drinking on first?
Well, I'm drinking, guess what? Boulevard, because we try to...
Guess what I'm drinking on today?
What? Boulevard?
Free State. Close enough.
So, Boulevard is people who follow our podcast would know it's a beer from Missouri, from Kansas City, Missouri. This one is called the Snow Until. It's an oak-aged Scotch ale. It's pretty good. Want to try it? You probably won't like it. It's not wheat.
You want to try that?
No, I'm good.
My beer is called Psychedelic IPA by Free State.
Oh, it's pretty fruity.
That's not bad. That's a better beer than what you had last time. That other beer you had last time.
This one that had the zombie. Think it was the zombie one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, going back to...
So, this week...
Hey, but let's talk about a little bit of beers. Like, we always mention them, but we never actually talk about, like, the actual beers.
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, no. So, what type of beers do you normally enjoy the most? Like, are they wheat? Are they heavier?
I'm more of an IPA person. I really like IPAs and I love hoppiness. Mm-hmm. But I also like... I love Summer Shandy and Blue Moon and stuff like that as well, but I'm not really a stout guy. I don't like the alcoholic root beers and shit like that. I just like good... I like pale ales also. Wheats are good too.
Are you like more in the blonde side or more in darker? If you see a dark beer, do you normally avoid it unless it's Genesis? Genesis crap.
No, I wouldn't say that because like dark beer, like pale ale's dark. And I love pale ale.
But it's not too dark. It's normally pale ale, so aren't they like normally more copper? Yeah.
And like Smittix is a dark beer. Mm-hmm. So no, I wouldn't say I wouldn't go based. I go based off of like, taste, the hoppiness, what they have. What about you?
I'm more like I really don't care. Mine depends on the mood. Like if I have one or two beers, I try to get one that's a little more heavier. Like a more darker beer, and if I'm wanting to drink, like I mentioned, a summer, normally like a more fruity beer, like a grapefruit, like one that has grapefruit.
Or like an 80 acre.
Yeah,
something that's a little bit lighter. It still has some hops, but it's still
But I like all types. We all have our like particular taste. I'm not a big fan of woodchuck. The woodchuck.
I don't like apple. I don't like ciders also.
I'm not a big fan of those, but. Overall, like it. If anybody's listening and wants to send us or tell us any recommendations of beers of their region, let us know.
Or like you said, send us some.
Yeah, you can send us. We are over 21.
We will try.
We would like them, and we will give you our honest review. And because we always mention them, but we never actually talk about them like more and more in detail.
We should do that.
I thought like yours had like a nice. Fruity, like when you smell it first, the first initial smell is very fruity. This one, I feel it almost feels like a pale ale, almost, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it has like you can taste the oak barrel in it.
Like I had the Scotch one, barrel, and that was pretty heavy. That's one of those that you can only have one, maybe two.
Yep.
This one I can feel I can have 5 or 6, and I will give it out of 5 stars. 4 stars. Let's give it 4 beers. Out of 5 beers, I'll give this 4 beers.
I'd give that 4 beers. I'd give it 4.
Yeah, I'll give it like a 3.5, 4 beers. That's good. It's not my favorite Free State. Oktoberfest will always be my favorite Free State.
My favorite is and will always be Copperhead.
Copperhead is good.
Copperhead is probably my
favorite. All right. Well, leaving the beers alone.
So this week we're gonna run down some catch up with Walking Dead after since it's been going on. Definitely recap on Westworld. That is epic. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, man, but that show is definitely amazing. Then I'm gonna throw out some non-spoiler cast Doctor Strange because Daniel's seen it and I haven't, so we're gonna talk about that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Then we're also gonna talk about.
We will still have the full Doctor Strange, but it's going to be next week.
But we're also going to talk about news about X-Men rebooting. Yeah. So
little pig, let me into Westworld.
All right. So what are we talking about first? Little Pig, Little Pig, or are we going to talk about Westworld first?
Let's go with Little Pig, Little Pig.
So
I want to, before you jump in, because you're passionate, I want you some criticisms.
Do it. Let's do it. We're talking about Walking Dead, people.
I want you to criticize. You need to find something wrong with Negan.
Oh, I already have.
All right. I'm excited then. All right. So how do you think how this episode...
In the comic, although it's not obviously they have to create more dialogue for this character as in a TV show versus a book, but I feel like he uses a lot of the same sayings sometimes, like a drunk dad uses puns, like me, although I'm not a dad, but I like to use puns. But like when Daryl, in the third episode, he gets caught up, and Negan walks up and he's like, "Are we in PP Pants City yet?" He's already said that. I'm like, why are we doing that again? Why are we revisiting that? And then he said something else in this last episode. I didn't really understand why he re-said that. But my complaint is that he touches on a lot of the same stuff that he's already done. And Negan is such a good character because he's always evolving. He's very whimsical. And he was whimsical in this last episode.
Wouldn't it make him more authentic? Because you normally use the same sayings. You don't change sayings every two weeks.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. But that would be like my complaint.
Okay, I understand that.
What's your complaints?
For me, it's more or less like I'm not gonna go without criticism from the show, not the comics. They haven't given me a good reason why everybody follows Negan quite yet. And I'm just like, why would all those guys just follow this dude? He's not the strongest. I doubt he's the smartest. Look, he's just a shit ton of people there. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, what would happen if one of his wives just gets a knife and murders him? And it's like, what? Dwight's gonna do something? No, Dwight doesn't like him. Dwight's gonna be happy because he come back to his wife.
Or why didn't Rick just swing up and hit him in the face? Because obviously his men wouldn't shoot Rick because Negan wants Rick alive. He's not going to make a profit if Rick is dead because Rick is in charge.
No, but yeah, like it makes no sense. Like example, if he came in, they have all those shit guns. He just goes there, swings it, and all of a sudden, all the motherfuckers show up from out of nowhere with machine guns pointing at the guys. It would have been like my first thing would have been if I was Rick. I don't know. So it makes it more interesting. This story, at least this story that like we can actually criticize and we can be. Yeah. It makes it more fun. Like, oh, well, he should do this and he should do that.
My biggest complaint is that I feel, and maybe this is just because we're so used to binge watching shows like Stranger Things or watching Supernatural, or Doctor Who. Binge watching shows because we could watch episodes back to back and we're so used to narratives being able to play so fast. And now we're watching this show and the narrative is taking so long. It's just like we have to wait until episode 5 before we find out, see Maggie again, see Sasha. We get to finally see fucking Jesus again, which I've been dying to see Ninja Jesus.
Yeah, like for me, it's hard to criticize the Negan character because he's doing a great job. This is cherry picking. This is like, what can I find? When I was watching this, like, what can I find to criticize?
I was laughing a lot.
Yeah, I feel like and I love that. I love that character that he's an evil character, but you like him.
Yeah, unlike
there's a part of your brain that you're like, I should not be enjoying this, but you do.
Like, I enjoyed watching the governor because I understand what he did, but he was the villain that. Like not the main villain, but he was the kind of like stereotypical, oh, I'm the bad guy, and Rick's like, so Rick's like, oh yeah, I gotta fight this. But now this guy kind of has a valid point, like, you killed all my fucking people, man. But he, in a sense, is fucked up because he's definitely chauvinistic.
I think Rick sorry to interrupt, but it was like, I think Rick molds himself with his enemy. And with the governor, remember Crazy Rick with a beard and he went fucking crazy? So Rick basically molds himself with and when he was the governor, he went more crazy. He went, beard, Rick, go crazy, let's go all out. Him now, you can start seeing it when who is the guy with Rosita?
Dwight? Or are you talking about
what is his name? The guy's the daughter of
Deanna's son.
Yeah, Deanna's son, and when he was like, and Rick says, if you ever say that again, he's changing. He's mimicking almost.
Here's a fun theory that I saw on the internet today.
But is it true? Like, do you think he mimics? Like, now he's like, if you say that one more time, I'm gonna be.
I think Full Beard Rick is still in there. Crazy Rick is still in there, but now he just watched two of his best friends get beaten to death with a bat, especially Glenn. He's going to do everything he can to make sure that these people don't fucking die, especially Michonne and Carl. Anybody, even Aaron, someone who's not close to him, I mean, even Gabriel. Like, Gabriel's like, oh man, like this episode, episode 4, he's like, we weren't friends. You hated me, and now you and I are friends, Rick. And I see that we can come out of this. And
he's the only one.
Fucking great Gabriel, man.
I think anybody says we can get out except Rick.
Gabriel stepped up to the fucking plate today and saved Maggie because he stepped up. He, on a whim, he heard those trucks coming in and made those graves because he was to save Maggie.
So it seems like he proposes to the girls if they want to marry him. What would happen if they say no?
I think he kind of... Negan's big thing is he doesn't believe in rape. Everything has to be consensual. That's why in episode 3, when he's talking to Dwight, he says, hey man, you can have any girl you want as long as they agree to it.
Yeah, but I mean, what would it happen if Maggie says, no, I don't want to be your wife?
I think he'd be pissed, but I think he would just... That part was just weird for me. I mean, I understand why they did that, because that's Negan's character, and they're just adding more in there compared to the book. But in the book, he doesn't do anything like that. Like, he doesn't come up... And she's not even there. Like, she is in the hilltop, but, like, in the story, they follow it to where the group goes to the hilltop. They don't split up. They go to the hilltop, and then after she's healed, they go back to Alexandria. She doesn't go to the hilltop later until... once the war starts and they split up. But I think he would have just brushed it off. He would have been pissed off and been like, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's not... But he has multiple wives, so...
Yeah.
I did hear a theory today that Daryl and Rick were communicating with each other. Because Rick, if you watch him when he's holding Negan's bat, when he's holding Lucille, he's tapping on it. If you watch Daryl, he's like blinking a lot.
So he's in Morse code?
Yep. Because they're in the episode in the beginning. They show Rick's room and he has a Morse code device in there. So I heard that on news. I'm like, oh well, no. Brittany posted that on my fucking wall. I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting to you.
And I love that they're they're still family. Like Rick and everyone.
Yeah, but you think like it's an easy excuse. It's like, how can we find a way? And it's like, oh, well, let's make them know Morse code. It would have been much better if they explained it like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
How they were like, what is doing Morse code? And then...
I just couldn't see someone like Daryl knowing that. Like,
yeah, but I mean, and it feels for me it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's cheap. It's like, by the way, I always know Chinese. And like, really, Rick, you know Chinese? Like, imagine if the next villain is an old Chinese lady and they're talking in Chinese, and all of a sudden, Rick knows Chinese. Like,
yeah.
Bullshit.
Well, he has the Matrix, man.
Who?
He has the Matrix. Trinity. Trinity put the deal in the back of his neck, and he knows fucking everything.
But that's the thing. It's like, if they do that, it will be cool. Like, holy shit, but at the same time, it's cool, but it's a cheap way out. It will be a cheap way out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that that's the case. I think it's just a theory. I think Rick is literally right now thinking, I don't know how they're going to do it, because I don't really remember in the comic how he changes his mind, which I don't think he ever changes his mind. I think he's just, the way he does things is he makes sure that he has a definite plan before he can actually go through with what he wants to do. Instead of just going balls to the wall, like, yeah, they could have all fucking fought against the Saviors when they came up. But instead, he's just dealing with it, and then eventually they'll have a better plan. Which would be better because they'll have all the other, the kingdom.
So you assume they're going to do a treaty? Remember, Some people may not read the comics.
I just assume because Carol and Morgan are there that eventually all three are going to mash up.
We're going to mash up and just all three of them get the numbers? Because they're saying the numbers. We don't have the numbers. You think with all three of them, they will have the numbers?
I think that they would have the numbers, but they also will have the strategy because Ezekiel's smart. I think Ezekiel will have what Negan can't. Or not Negan, but Rick can't. And Jesus is smart too. Jesus is like, he's stealth. He knows how to defeat go in, infiltrate, and beat from the inside. I think Ezekiel and Rick are more so tactician and know how to do the front line stuff.
Jesus comes from the hilltop, right?
Yes.
Does Ezekiel have a special warrior clan?
Well, he just has the kingdom warriors that have they're on horses and they have the spears and shit. But
so the kingdom has the ones with the horses, the special warriors.
The
hilltops only has Jesus as a warrior.
I mean, there are other people that live there, kind of like Alexandria, that'll fight.
There's the warriors. There's the Rick, Michonne.
That's just our group. They're not considered.
But it is. They're not considered, but they're the warriors.
Of course, Carl's like, you better just leave or we're going to fucking kill you. I was like, oh shit. Of course, he didn't say fuck it, but he was just like, I cannot wait for this season to be on Blu-ray because they already said everything that they're filming with Negan, they have filmed twice. Because everything on the Blu-ray is just going to be him being Negan, which is fuckity, fuck. I'm so excited for that. I think that's my biggest thing because I love his character, but I find it a little bit off. And I think the reason why I find it off is because he's not Negan.
I like Negan.
I love him.
He does a good job. For me, there's something that puts me off that it's like I cannot really tell he's a bad guy.
Well, he's not supposed to be. He's supposed to be an anti-hero.
Yeah, but he's not. Right now, he's there.
He is the villain.
He is the villain, and he does a good job acting in it. But then there's the back of my mind. I can see him like a supernatural, like the dad. I can see him. I've seen him in so many other.
Yeah.
That it's just.
I put him in the same category as Magneto. He is just like Magneto in the same sense that Magneto is evil. Magneto has will.
But Magneto has evolved with the years. He's been evil, and then of course in the comics, then change it just to.
Oh yeah.
But he was part of the evil mutants. Like now they changed it. So the Cyclops used to be the super duper hero, and then they changed him to a villain, and now he's an anti-hero.
Cyclops is a douche.
You're not in Team Cyclops?
My buddy at work today. Let's talk about this during the X-Men reboot talk, because I actually had some stuff set up for that.
Alright, well...
Anyways, so that's our talk with Walking Dead. Overall, we're happy with the past few episodes. Obviously, the past podcasts, we talked about the Kingdom episode. So, we're talking about the Cell with Daryl's episode, and we're talking about episode 4 with Little Pig. I think it's good. It's definitely going in a good direction.
How many years? From 1 to 5? This season so far?
I give it a 4.
I'll give it a 4.5 years.
Yeah.
I
would give it a 4.5 based off the first episode alone. A lot of people hated the first episode because they felt like it was just, they made us wait. Oh, they made us wait till the middle of the episode before they did it. But I'm like, you can't just have one episode of just Negan walking around beating people with a bat. Like, I understand why they did this story. He wanted to psychologically break Rick. I love that episode. That is easily one of my favorite episodes.
All right.
And this episode, obviously...
So 4.5 years.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So now we're going to Westworld. I did not see... What's his name?
The
guy...
Engineer?
The engineer, the head programmer guy that...
The African-American dude?
That was the guy from Hunger Games and Boardwalk Empire that was sleeping with the manager.
I called it.
I did not know that he was going to be one. I just didn't think that.
Yeah, when I was watching that section, and when he says, "What door?" I said, "I called it," to my wife. I called it. And she looked at me weird, and she's like, "He's a robot." And she's like, "Oh, are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he couldn't see that door." And when he went through it, it was almost like the robots when they're thinking something they can't comprehend. Mm-hmm. That was the same, like, confused look. I see it. for me, it's just such a hard show to explain to somebody who's never seen it.
I know. Well, I think
what's the main point? And you're like, well, there's the labyrinth, and there's this, and there's that. It's even more than Game of Thrones.
I don't think we should focus on trying to describe.
That's what I mean.
I agree with
you. Now I'm getting to the point of like, well, I have no fucking clue who's the bad
guy.
There's
just so much going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because you have
it's fucking Red Dead.
Dolores. Well, dude, it's definitely Red. Dude,
there's so many shit going on that you're like, I'm fucking confused, but I love this.
All I'm thinking about right now when I'm watching this show is I'm just like, fuck you, Red Star. I want my fucking Red Dead Redemption 2 now.
That's like, is Anthony Hopkins the bad character?
Anthony Hopkins totally went Hannibal Lecter that last episode. Like, he channeled that character and was like...
He just needed it.
He went back to that. Like, you could see it in his eyes. Like, his eyes just change, and he's just like,
he went,
hello, Clarice. Except he's like, I demand a sacrifice. It was like, oh, shit. And the girl's like, I don't really understand what's going to happen. And then shit happens. Oh, yeah, by the way...
That's one of my criticisms.
These are all spoilers. You should all know that.
But that's one of my criticisms of all that show. It's why it seems like he's smart, and killing that girl seems like a stupid idea. Because I thought he would, like, if he'd done the same scene as him when they were in the agave garden, eating, like, the lunch.
Oh, with the big machine that came plowing through.
Yes, fucking destroy her by just using intelligence alone. Saying, oh yeah, we used the same fucking table, the same fucking this. What would you kill? Like, I don't see him killing her. He would have been, I know what you're doing. I have proof that you cheated, that you're doing all this, getting all this. You say a fucking word, and you're gone. Now you're gonna work for me, bitch. Yeah, that's what I thought it would have been a good way to. But this show is so fucking good that maybe next episode I'm gonna be like, that's why.
He reminds me of Jeff Bridges in Tron, because like in Tron Legacy, when he steps through there, he controls that realm. He just walks in and he can be like, done. He just thinks it and they're off. Like he is God in that realm. So all these people, this corporate entity, thinks that they're in control of this park, but really behind their back, he's still.
But he said, like, oh, you're the next one. Every so often they try to play me, blah 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 blah. I thought a little bit more. I don't know. The thing of killing her didn't make too much sense. But I mean, it's early. It's early to actually know what's going to go on. It's one of those shows like when we review it, it's just so hard because there isn't like a main. Like, even like it shows like Game of Thrones, like more like explaining, well, this is happening, and this is happening.
Like, oh, hey, we're trying to win against the Lannisters, but the overall bad picture is the White Walkers.
Here's like there's not an overall picture because is the overall picture the relationship of him with the administrators, or is it the overall picture? Is it the labyrinth? Is it the park itself? What is it? Like, is it trying to create? Using artificial intelligence so good that they can make their own decisions, and they're now basically, real.
Mm-hmm.
What is the main? Like, you don't know because each story is completely different.
Well, everyone's trying to create their own story within this universe.
Yeah, like
even the people that aren't in the universe.
Like the main Madden. Like, what her story is.
Maeve is my favorite character.
She's becoming a human.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to become a human. She wants to be free.
Well, they even said that they could they're designed to be better than us, but we have them restricted so they can't be better than us.
Yeah, so that's her story. Then you have the Anthony Hopkins story. That has nothing to do with this story. Then you have the labyrinth. Well, everything is barely connected. I just cannot wait until the big picture shows up, because the big picture, I can see it coming.
I don't think it's going to happen for a while because they just announced today that it was renewed for season 2.
No, but I mean, there's going to be a big picture.
Oh, eventually.
There's going to be like, and you're going to be like, holy fucking shit, everything connects.
HBO has the best shows. I mean, Marvel is hitting it hard in Netflix. I mean, those shows are amazing, but these shows, Game of Thrones, Westworld. I mean, if you look back, I mean, you have The Wire, you have Deadwood, you have Boardwalk Empire, all these shows, True Blood. Every show that they have is a fucking home run hit for some reason. This show without a doubt, is definitely as good as Game of Thrones, I think.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Dude, every turn I'm not expecting something.
Yeah, it's and the casters, they're everything's unbelievable. They're great. They're so good. So.
I love Maeve, man. She is my favorite character. I love how
Anthony Hopkins is mine.
Anthony Hopkins is definitely my second, and Ed Harris is tied with him. But I think I really like Maeve because she's just tying into she just keeps looking up. She's like, all right, boys. She's like, I'm going to be in charge of you now. And these are human beings, people that can turn her off, and yet
they can't anymore. She wakes up.
No, they still turn her off. They put her in the universe, and then she dies and comes back.
But she turns
off. Now that she's gotten regenerated with her super smarts,
that's something that when it happened. I was thinking to her, what a stupid decision for them. I would have done the opposite. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make you dumb as rocks.
Yep.
Dumb as rock.
But I think that the Asian guy can see where she's coming from because he's the low man on the totem pole there. He does because he states he's like I can't even afford to go to this park. I work here just because, but I can't afford to come here and hang out. Even with the discounts, I can't come here. And I think that he understands where she's coming from. I mean, in a sense, it's fucked up. And she has a lot of blackmail on them too because she's like, oh, I understand why you guys are down here, why you wipe our memories clean. There's a lot of lonely dudes that work down here. Yeah,
she understands men. I like Anthony Hopkins. He's my favorite.
Ed Harris is really cool because he's making Teddy expand his memory too. Every one of these humans that are attached to a robot or whatever synthetic being are expanding their minds. Mm-hmm. Like Dolores, of course, Dolores is kind of expanding her mind because of the guy who's the robot, the guy from Hunger Games that we just found out that's a robot. Yeah, he's a TI-83.
But he's always doing what Anthony Hopkins is telling him. So Anthony Hopkins is doing that with Dolores.
I just want. Would it be okay if we just had a part in season 2 where all of a sudden you just see Arnold come in just oh hey, I want to hang out in the park because robots and taking over humans. I'll be back.
Dolores.
But yeah, I like Dolores' story, but I would definitely say I kind of like that's just more like the love story thing I think that they have to have in there. But it's intriguing. I like the guy who's with her at his story, oh man, I don't really like my life, but now I'm realizing that I don't like my life. You know what I mean? Before he thought he had to do this, and then finally it's you know what? Fuck this. I'm actually in love, which doesn't make sense because he's in love with a fucking robot.
Yeah. For me, it's one of the things that
he's in love with Android 19.
That I think is really good. At the same time, I think it's there's a part of my brain that it's when they go from robot to acting. The robots when they're super emotional. It's take the emotion off, and they go and they churn completely. Yep. For me, it's every time I see this in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that's what probably doing the acting class.
Yeah.
So oh, and they start crying. Oh, perfect, and they go back to normal. Yeah, you liked it? Oh, that was great. That's what I see. That's their like a training. But they're doing it so good.
Oh yeah.
They're you're completely terrified, and there's take the emotion off in the room.
Every actor can do it. I've never seen the girl that's in the brothel they wiped her brain. I've never seen her as an actress before, but she was even just she turned into, from being this nice, sweet girl,
to completely
to fucking full Terminator mode.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't it? It's I see it like that, but at the same time, it can be easy.
Yeah,
it can be easy to boom, boom, boom when you switch completely.
I think that's why it took them so long because they had a lot of issues making this show.
They did?
Yeah, they had a lot of issues filming it, and it had to be. It was supposed to come out earlier than later. It was supposed to come out last winter, I believe, but they had a lot of filming problems. They had a lot of They had
That's what I think it's good of HBO. They won't release shit unless it's perfect.
Yep, and that's why I love about I think the conception of we need to have shows released at a specific time needs to go away. I like how
HBO doesn't give two shits.
I like how Marvel is we're not going to release a Daredevil for a year and a half, or we're not going to,
But that's
and the same with
Game
of Thrones is doing that too.
But Marvel is doing it every year. Netflix, Marvel,
different shows though.
Same universe,
same
attachment. They all gonna go.
Not the same show.
Okay, I agree with that, but HBO doesn't give two shits when you want it.
With I think their biggest reason why they didn't really change, but True Detective Season 2, they really fucked up with that because they pressed the guy who made True Detective Season 1, they're like, we want Season 2, and he rushed it, and that season just sucked. It fell on its face, and they canceled that series.
But it's a good, I get maybe it could be an example, but they moved Game of Thrones to, a year and a half almost?
Yep.
This show was a year later than when they were wanting to. They don't care. Let's get a good show. And I think it also goes with gaming, like with the gaming systems. Like all the Call of Duties are coming out, and they're like some companies are saying like, no, we're gonna wait. We're gonna give you.
Well, that's why GTA and Red Dead are like the top grossing games of all time, is because
they want a good product.
They want a product that is immersive. Like they don't want you to play. I mean, those Call of Duty games, it's just the same game every year with new weapons, new graphics, and maybe a little bit of different storyline versus you could play Red Dead Redemption, you could play Grand Theft Auto for hours and hours by yourself, or you could play it online.
But Call of Duty still,
it's a good game.
It's a good game. It's just...
Same with...
Like, maybe you don't buy, but it still is... Like, if you enjoy the Call of Duties, you enjoy the Call of Duties. We like the Pokemon games. The Pokemon games are the same fucking thing over and over. So, it's not a criticism towards that. It's the criticism towards... Like, you need
taking
to have...
the time to get a
good product.
We would rather you spend more time making a good product versus spending time making a shitty one.
My way of going with the game is you come out and then they have fucking like you need to have a patch 2, patch 3, patch 4 before it's playable because the face is missing like in Assassin's Creed. That's more not the every year they have to have a new Call of Duty. As the Call of Duty comes down and there's 100 problems because they rushed it to get here before Christmas because they want to sell it before Christmas.
Yep.
Like the Pokemon game. It's in November on purpose because Christmas is next month. And they are selling it the week before Black Friday.
Yep.
The week before Black Friday.
There's a reason.
There's a reason why they do that. They're not stupid. But
you should have bought it on Amazon. Are you an Amazon Prime member?
Mm-hmm.
You should have bought it on.
I want to play it on Friday.
Yeah, so you can.
Don't get you. We'll get it Saturday. If this is on Friday.
Okay. Well, Amazon Prime members get free. They get same day delivery.
Oh yes.
And you're gonna spend $40 on it. I get it for $32.
What is it?
Because they get discounts.
How about if I go on Thursday and buy it on midnight and say fuck you?
You could. I'm not gonna be that upset.
How about if I tell you the ending of Doctor Strange?
Speaking of Doctor Strange, nice innuendo.
Well, let's move to that.
We're going to just talk a spoiler-free version.
Before we go to spoiler-free version, let's go with how many beers for Westworld?
5.
4.5.
That's fair. Hey, we have our own... that works.
I don't think I would be a give a 5 in anything. There's nothing perfect. So, but I'm going to be the more conservative. You can be the more forgiving.
The episode Hard Home of Game of Thrones is definitely an episode. That is 5 beers. That episode is...
Hard Home? Which one is Hard Home?
The one where zombies? The White Walkers attack randomly and no one was expecting it?
I prefer the Battle of the Bastards.
That's a 5 too.
That's 4.87. That's the highest I'll ever go. So... And then there was Doctor Strange.
So, obviously, we're gonna talk about this quickly because we're not gonna really. What'd you think of it?
I liked it. It's very trippy.
Was the villain good in it? Was Mads Mikkelsen good in it?
He was alright. It's like any beginning story. It's all about the beginning of him becoming a hero more than the villain itself.
Yeah.
So, but it's a good story. There's so many Easter eggs that they're so much fun to watch. The basic storyline, without going into details, is there's this neurosurgeon who is the best in the world, cocky bastard, who has everything he wants, and he gets in an accident, and he injures his hand so badly that they're shaking all the time. So he spends his fortune trying to fix it, trying to change, do different procedures. And everybody says no. So basically he gets desperate and he decides to go to the tibet because he's heard that there's this, a doctor there that can cure his problem. So he gets there and Mambo Jumbo happens and he becomes Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. In the movie, he doesn't become Sorcerer Supreme, but in the comics, he's Sorcerer Supreme. But this is the beginning.
Does he say his actual catchphrase in there? That's all I care about.
What's his actual catchphrase?
Excelsior.
No.
He doesn't say Excelsior in there?
Mm-mm.
That's like his main phrase.
It's Stan Lee's main phrase.
No, but his phrase is also Excelsior, isn't it?
It's Stan Lee's is.
But
Stan Lee's always tried to put it in his comics when he did it.
Okay. Well, I thought that's what Doctor Strange. Okay, well, maybe.
He might have said it, but if it did, it wasn't that shocking to me. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's very trippy. It's very the graphics, the special effects are great. They're amazing. There's the scene that you can see
it's like Inception.
I'm not sure if it's multiverse or not. Who knows?
Like
maybe I will know next episode. But it's multiverse or mirrors, and they just flip over.
For those who obviously you guys can't see it, but it looks like he's doing the Macarena right now.
The Macarena.
Macarena.
All right. So that's it. My best example is make a superhero movie, throw a little of Inception in there, throw a little bit of acid in there, shake it all really good, and Doctor Strange happens.
That's awesome.
It's a fun movie. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to even talk too much about it because we're going to talk about it next episode. I would recommend it. It's a fun, light movie, and it's a Marvel movie. You can't go bad. It's not one of the best. I'm not going to say that either. It's at par with the normal Marvel movies. They're nothing
like Ant-Man.
I like Ant-Man, but yeah, it's like Ant-Man. It's not like Guardians or anything close. It's not like it's like Captain America, like the first one. You enjoy it, but it's the story. I'm saying the storyline. It's not amazing. It's not gonna blow your mind. The effects, it's the best.
Yeah,
the effects is even better than Guardians of the Galaxy, even better than Age of Ultron. Bravo.
I'm gonna fucking disagree with you.
Well, what?
Graphics aren't better. I lied to you, I've seen it.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh. I was like, what? You've seen it? Yeah, I think it's a good show. It's a good show. It's a good movie. And go and watch it and then listen to our podcast.
Right, one quick thing. This is kind of like, the Daily Bugle section.
It is. Well, Parker took pictures this time.
Peter Parker's a little busy.
Oh.
He's hanging out with Tony right now.
Is he?
Yep. Or he's hopefully hitting on that Mary Jane. No, but
I hope he's hitting on Gwen Stacy because that was the first one.
Yep.
And he loved her first.
Vikings starts November 30th, day after my birthday. We will have a podcast the day of my birthday, probably, because it's on Tuesday.
There you go.
We'll figure something out. Let's talk about the They've announced that they might be rebooting the X-Men franchise
again,
but this is a complete reboot. New cast, everything. Like everybody original won't ever show up in it. This is just a complete reboot of the franchise. What do you think?
Not a fan about the idea.
Do you think that they should stick with the franchise that they've created? I like the new Young Mutants, but I just think that they rushed Apocalypse too soon because what they set up in Days of Future Past, that movie set up something good. That movie was amazing.
I like Sophie Turner.
Oh, I agree.
I think
I love the Young Mutants.
That's away from your reboot. They changed the main cast. Get somebody else.
I think the biggest thing is that Fox is freaking out because Apocalypse sucked. And the biggest and they're losing Bryan Singer because he's done making X-Men movies. I think their issue is that he made Days of Future Past and X-Men First Class, which were good, and X-Men 1 and 2. But then they rushed Apocalypse, and it just it sucked.
For me, it's like Marvel. We already know the fucking X-Men. We don't need another reboot.
We don't need a reboot of the whole franchise. It's like Batman. Like, I understand why they reboot Batman so they can have a different actor
It was
play.
a reboot. It was a reboot, but I mean, they don't come back saying, "Oh, the new Batman." They're saying Batman now is Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it's Batfleck.
Yeah, so it's not like they're rebooting everything. It's not like, oh, everything that you saw in the past is no longer correct. It's just they just basically if they do that and they're not giving the whole entire fucking story again, I'll be fine.
Well,
I'll see it, but I'll be fine. I just don't want to see the same fucking story
because they did that
100 times, and they did that with Spider-Man.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. And they just need to fix their mishaps, and their issues is like the continuity of the stories are just all fucked up. Days of Future Past was supposed to fix all that, but Apocalypse kind of fucked that up. And then with the new Wolverine movie coming out, what does that play into? And then same with Deadpool. Deadpool's in that same universe, and how does that mess go with anything?
I just think it's stupid. Just give Sophie Turner, give those kids a chance to make a normal movie without. Yep. They have a great cast.
The biggest thing is also they're losing all their key players. Jennifer Lawrence is gone. She said she's not doing Mystique anymore. Michael Fassbender and whatever his name is that plays Professor X, they're gone. Obviously, Hugh Jackman's done.
Well, I'm saying Hugh Jackman. You cannot have. He said it. He can't. His body can't take it anymore.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I could see him doing a cameo where he's just like, "Oh, ha, ha, hey, I'm here," but I don't.
Like an old man. Like,
yeah.
Hey, like how in what was it? The second Hulk movie where the guy who used to portray every single person who portrayed Hook was there as a cameo.
Yep.
Post-mortem. Well, I think one was post-mortem. And the rest were actual, in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, you can do that. It's like, oh, if I was in my prime, I will, if there was a new Wolverine and, Hulk, like, if I was in my prime, I will kick your ass. Like an old man, say that. And then we think it's funny because we know who he is.
Yeah.
But people coming out new will be like, oh.
I would just be irritated, I think, if they reboot it. I can understand them rebooting, like, the Tobey Maguire franchise of Spider-Man because it wasn't that long. It was only like 6 to 7 years. This has been going on for almost 20 years. Rebooting a franchise that's been going on for 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like X-Men, the Apocalypse was already a reboot. You got me a new Cyclops, a new Jean Grey, a new a new Nightcrawler, a new Jubilee. You give me everything new except Professor X and Magneto. Those are the only two that stayed the same.
And Mystique.
Mystique and Quicksilver.
I would agree.
Those are the only ones. They don't need to have Magneto. They don't need to rehire Magneto. They can get somebody new for Magneto. They can make a movie where...
I think Michael Fassbender, if he's paid enough, he would do it. I think the reason why Jennifer Lawrence doesn't want to
She's trying to do fucking makeup.
Yeah, the makeup takes forever.
And she won an Oscar. She just doesn't want to do it. That's fine. But Mystique is not that big of a deal in the fucking X-Men universe.
No.
She's not that big. You can take her out of the fucking movie and still make a good fucking X-Men movie. Yeah. She doesn't have to be in the fucking X-Men movie.
She's not huge.
I like her. I think she does a great job. Don't get me wrong. But Mystique is Mystique. I mean, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, you take that off and that's it. You can do so many characters. You can use...
You can do
the Dark Phoenix again. You can do... what's the vampire's name? What was his name is?
They haven't used Gambit.
Well, Gambit's in the building.
No, but I'm saying...
Well, yeah, but there's, you can do 100 things. Like, the Sentinels again. You can do...
They haven't done... There's a lot of characters that they have... Like Jubilee, they've put her in there twice, and they have never fucking used her to use her actual powers. They put Gambit in there once, and he was an X-Men Wolverine's Origins, and...
Oh, shit. That was...
Gambit's like one of the best fucking characters. He's as cool as Beast.
I'm not a big fan of Beast.
See, this is a good conversation.
I miss Iceman. Iceman was my favorite. And the comics.
I like my favorite's Wolverine. I think other than Wolverine, Magneto and Colossus are my second, and then Gambit's
Colossus' sister.
I love Colossus because just like the fact that he can just transform on a whim into that. And then
they can use the mutant virus where Colossus sacrificed themselves as a villain.
Or they can use the story where Magneto uses Colossus to kill Iceman.
Or they can use the story where Magneto takes the adamantium of Wolverine and he becomes killer badass Wolverine. They can do so many fucking villains. But it's just...
I think what they should do
is sell them back to Marvel and let them have them.
Boom. Exactly. But I don't think that they should...
And do an Avengers versus X-Men after Infinity Wars.
Yeah. I think this is what I heard on IGN, and I think this is correct. I think Avengers Infinity War is going to be planetary, like our planet. And I think that the second one's going to be celestial, so it's going to be out in space. I think it's going to be... This one's going to be home ground, and then Thanos is going to be like, fuck you, I'm out. And then the Avengers chase them into...
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, they chase them there. Well, I think Guardians are going to... Because Guardians, I think, are coming to Earth this season. Not season, but this season. This season on Guardians of the Galaxy. Drax the Trickster Man has some more whims. The raccoon gets into some trash.
Yeah.
Who does Peter Quill sleep with?
And who's Adam Warlock?
Yeah.
Who is he?
Who is Adam Warlock? Will they ever have him in there?
I hope so.
Adam Warlock's a big effing deal, man.
But
if he's not, they need to... They already have Captain Marvel. Now they need to have Adam Warlock. Because he's like the...
He should show up in the next episode of Guardians.
Well,
he should show up. Or at least named.
Did you hear about the Living Planet? How they changed... the reason why they had Megasod 19 Warrior or whatever in Deadpool is because they traded with Fox. Fox traded Megasonic... Teenage Warhead for the Living Planet for Guardians.
I did not know that.
So if those trades are already happening...
I think it's a fucking shitty trade. Megasonic Warhead in the comics is pathetic. It's so boring. She's like in two issues and she's gone. She's an emo little long-haired girl.
I love Deadpool.
Oh, I like Megasonic in Deadpool. I do not like Megasonic in the comics.
I'm glad they switched because Guardians... I mean, this is my favorite Marvel movie, man. If they can make...
Winter Soldier is my favorite.
Winter Soldier's probably my second. Well, I would say Avengers, then Winter Soldier. Avengers 1.
Spider-Man. Of course. That's one of my favorites. I like Amazing Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man, except Spider-Man 3.
What? You liked Spider-Man 3?
No, except Spider-Man 3.
Oh.
I like their...
Spider-Man 2 with...
1 and 2, and Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I like both of them. It's my favorite character, so...
I can't wait for the new one. I cannot wait, because Tom Holland, when I saw that, I was just like, dude, he is Spider-Man. Like, all the other ones...
I mean, he's so young, he can play it for...
Absolutely. I mean, Tobey Maguire started that character when he was, like, 30. Or, no, he was, like... Yeah, he was in his late 20s when he started it.
He didn't look like a teenager.
No.
He looks like a teenager.
It's funny, it's because in that movie, Joe Manganiello is in there. He's the one in the first Spider-Man that punches Peter Parker in the high school, and now he's going to play Deathstroke. And he looks like...
I don't know how he looks. I'm not sure if it's CGI or not, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. No,
I don't know if it's even him.
That footage I saw of Deathstroke walking out of that jet looked pretty sweet. I am just so happy and excited that they're not doing Penguin, they're not doing the Riddler, they're not doing the Joker, they've already done the Joker obviously in this movie, but like they're in the next Batman movie, they're not going to do...
What I'm excited for DC is Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman looks really good.
It looks good, and it looks like DC finally got their shit together. But that's what I saw when I looked at
Suicide
Suicide Squad looked like that, but now that it's still a fun movie, but it's it's not close to Marvel quite yet. But hopefully Wonder Woman, and I'm happy that it could be her because it's finally time for have a female superhero, in a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say. I mean, we've had Black Widow, but she's not really a superhero. But she is.
She's not. Well, she doesn't have any powers.
I would say she into some. She could.
But she has no solo move.
Yeah, that's she should have her solo movie. Yeah.
There's so many others in Marvel that I'd rather see than Black Widow. Black Widow for me is meh. I'd rather see Captain Marvel. I'd rather see
Captain Marvel's getting her own movie. Anyway,
but yeah, so. But there's other like Spider-Woman.
I really hope I really want to see how they like put Venom into this universe. That would be neat.
Yeah, there's so many that I'd rather.
Because all those Spider-Man villains can they could literally do the Sinister Six and put that into the Marvel universe.
The Sinister Six, I hope if they do it, there's no fucking Venom.
Why?
Because he's not a fucking Sinister Six character.
No, I wasn't saying...
I want to see Jack. Is Jaco or Jackal? How do you say it in English? The Hunter?
I don't...
So there's so many other villains.
You know more about Spider-Man than me, but
there's Mysterio from the Sinister Six, Scorpio, Rhino, Sandman... the Hunter, the one that said who's a hunter.
And then, of course, Green Goblin.
Green Goblin is not in it.
Oh, he isn't?
And Dr. Octopus are the six.
Oh, Doc Ock, that's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
So there's so many other characters, like Venom he's fun, but he should be a standalone. And I hope they stick with Venom. No Carnage, no Anti-Venom, just keep with Venom.
I didn't like Venom Anti-Venom, the one, or
he's white.
No, I'm thinking of the black Spider-Man, the evil Spider-Man that they had in Spider-Man 3.
Oh, well, the Spider-Man suit basically makes you evil, except for one person who can be stranded, and that's Eddie Brock.
Who's that?
I think it's Eddie. Is it Eddie? The bully from his high school. He loses his 2 legs, and then in war, and he gets it, and they more or less become friends, and he becomes Agent Venom. Mm. I haven't read it too much, so I'm not really sure. But basically, just give me a good Venom. Venom is such a good character.
Venom is amazing.
But when Peter Parker has him, he becomes a cocky motherfucker. And he realizes that he's going bad because he's about to kill Shocker. So he's about to kill Shocker, and he realizes that no, I can't kill. Killing is wrong. That's one of the Spider-Man's things he can't. And he realizes, and then he tries to take it off, and he can't take it off. So then all of a sudden he realizes that the bells hurt the thing and takes him off. And because of that, Venom doesn't activate his spider sense. So Venom can hit him from the back. And then Anti-Venom is, it's confusing. There's so many Spider-Mans that you can do the Vulture, and then you can do Doc Ock,
in this one,
and you can do Mysterio, and you can do Yes, they got enough time. They don't need to have 6 villains in once. They can have like 6 movies and then do a.
He signed up. There's Tom Holland signed up for 3 Marvel movies and 3 Sony movies. So there's probably going to be 3 Spider-Man, and then of course he's done 2 of those. So he does his Spider-Man Homecoming coming out, and then he has Civil War under his belt. So he's probably going to be in one of the Avengers movies. I don't think he's going to be in both Avengers.
Infinity and...
I think he's going to be in either Infinity War or the 4th one. I don't think he's going to be in
I can see him being in Infinity War 1, but if like you said, if they go to space, he's pretty much worthless in space. So.
Time's ticking. Next month, it starts filming.
Yeah.
Everybody's there. Everyone. They've already...
So, I'm sorry. I was like, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we got Pokemon coming next week, and... Well, this Friday, Friday. And Vikings coming on...
The 30th.
The 30th. They're still Walking Dead and they're still Westworld. Is anything new else coming out?
No. Westworld has 3 more episodes left. Walking Dead has 4 more episodes left until the mid-season break. And then it'll be back in, I would say, February.
And then is this the mid-season of Vikings, or is this a new season?
This is a mid-season.
So this will be the last season? This is the first half or the second half?
This is the second half of the 4th season, and then they're filming the 5th now.
And that will be the last season?
No, they haven't said anything about it anymore.
No.
But the last season of Black Sail starts in January.
I haven't watched that show.
It's amazing.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think
Yeah.
this is a wrap up. Thanks for listening, and if you want to send us an email to two ordinary nerds, that's number 2 ordinary nerds at gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook, and cheers.
Cheers.